Widening sa members ng Bids in our committee ng Palawan 2nd District Engineering Office. Good morning. Let's start with the pre-bid conference for today, December 7, 2023. May I ask Engineer C. Portales, our head of secretariat, to please read the list of today's attendee for this meeting, as well as the agenda for today's meeting.
Good morning, everybody. Our attendance for today's meeting for the pre-bid conference of contract ID number 24EF0071. Today, December 7, 2023. Sir Ronald Supanga, back Vice Chairman.
Present.
Ma'am Maria Picayo, back member.
Present.
Sir Julius Capatsa, back member.
Present.
Ma'am Merly Ayayo, back member.
Present.
Back Secretariat, Angel Portales, Abelardo Tupas, and Cheryl Larawan. Our agenda for today's meeting, today, December 7, 2023. Agenda of pre-bid conference for contract ID number 24EF0071, widening of permanent bridges, Tagdidili Bridge, B00371, PW along Puerto, Princesa South Road in Brooke, Palawan. Number 1 agenda, brief description, brief presentation, explanation by back of the following. Letter A, basic contract data, including contract description, ABC in duration. Letter B, requirements of bidding documents, including instruction to bidders, general conditions of contract, special conditions of contract, specification, drawings, bill of quantities, and forms. And letter C, documents to be submitted by the bidders. Under that letter C, we have number 1, technical component envelope. Under that number 1, we have letter A, legal documents, technical documents, financial documents, and letter D, Class B documents. For under that letter C, we have number 2, financial component envelope, and under that number 2, we have letter A, financial bid form, letter B, bid prices and the BOQ, letter C, detailed estimate, and letter D, cash flow by quarter. And for number 1 agenda, we have under the number 1, we have letter D, criteria and procedure for estimate, detailed evaluation of bids, and post-qualification and award. And number 2 agenda, we have the questions, comments from bidders, and replies of PAC and other representatives of procuring entity. Number 3, summary proceedings, including supplemental bid bulletins to be issued. And number 4, other matters. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Engineer Portales. So for the first agenda, the basic contract data. So I will discuss the basic contract data. This includes the contract description, the approved budget for the contract, and the duration of the contract. So we only have one project, that is contract ID 24EF0071. The contract name is Widening of Permanent Bridges, Tagdidili Bridge, with bridge ID B00371 PW along Puerto, Princesa South Road. So this project is located at Brooke, Palawan. The brief description for this contract: it is a construction of 2 units, 2 lanes, 8.15 wide by 18.5 meters long, RCDJ bridge, reinforced concrete girder po ito placed at both sides of existing bridge, complete with bridge approaches pavement, shoulder, sidewalk, concrete slope protection with steel sheet piles, 50 mm thick asphalt overlay placed on all bridge deck, metal guardrails and street LED lights. So ito po ay construction ng tulay, additional lane sa both sides ng existing na tulay. 2 lanes sa kaliwa, 2 lanes sa kanan. So the approved budget for the contract or the ABC is 47,040,000 pesos. This project will be funded under FY 2024 NEP. The contract duration is 260 calendar days. The cost of bidding documents for this contract is 25,000 pesos, and the pickup license requirement is medium A. So, kung mayroon pa po kayong ibang katanungan or clarification, please refer to the invitation to bid, or you can contact directly our back chairperson or our head secretariat. May nakalagay pong address dito sa invitation to bid. So let's now proceed to the next agenda, the requirements of bidding documents. May I call on Engineer Marife Cayaw to please discuss the said agenda. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Vice Chairman. Good morning, everybody. These are the requirements of bidding documents, which include instruction to bidders, general conditions of contract, special conditions of contract, specifications, drawing, bill of quantities, and forms. For the instruction to bidders, the bidders must submit their technical and financial component sealed envelope into one big envelope. All interested bidders may acquire a complete set of bidding documents at Procurement Unit Office, Back Building, DPWH, Palawan 2nd DEO, Narra, Palawan, upon payment of applicable fees for bidding documents pursuant to the latest guidelines issued by the DPPB, the amount stated by Vice Chairman Engineer Ronald Supanga on the basic contract data, or it may also be downloaded free of charge from DPWH's website www.dpwh.gov.ph and from Philippine Government Electronic Procurement System or PhilJEP's website www.philjeps.gov.ph, provided that the bidder shall pay the applicable fee for the bidding documents not later than bid submission. Bid submission may be done manually or electronically online. However, bidders should only select one mode of submission, either manual or electronic. Similar to manual submission, the guidelines for preparation and submission of electronic bid are obtained in the bidding documents. Bids must be received by the back secretariat through the DPWH building, 2nd floor, back room, Narra, Palawan, for manual submission, or at electronic bids, Palawan 2 at dpwh.gov.ph for electronic submission. All bids must be accompanied by bid security in any of the acceptable forms in the amount stated in ITB Clause 16. For bid submission, the contractor's representatives shall submit a copy of contractor's registration certificate or CRC or special power of attorney, together with government-issued ID. Bid opening shall be on December 20, 2023 at DPWH Building, 2nd floor, back room, Narra, Palawan. Bid will be opened in the presence of the bidder's representatives whose bid choose to attend the activity. Late bids shall not be accepted. For the general conditions of the contract or the GCC, the purpose is to provide standard terms and provisions in the contract applicable in all contracts in general without detailed information and data specific to the contract at hand. The GCC defines the contractual requirements and obligations of both the procuring entity and the contractor at hand. The obligation of the procuring entity is to provide you with the plans, inspections, and tests. The contractor's obligation is to carry out works per contract in accordance with the plans and specification within contract duration. Contractor shall employ the paid personnel indicating their designation in accordance with ITB Clause 10.3 and specified in the PDS to carry out the supervision of works. The procuring entity will approve any proposed replacement of paid personnel only if the relevant qualifications and abilities are equal to or better than those of the personnel listed in the schedule. Posting of the performance security. This shall guarantee the contractor's performance of its contract obligations up to the certificate of acceptance after the defects liability period and upon submission of the required warranty security if acceptable. The performance of security shall also guarantee the recoupment of any advance payment. It must be posted in favor of the procuring entity and shall be forfeited in the latter's favor if it is established that the winning bidder is in default in any of its obligations under the contract. The GCC shall remain unchanged. Kaya meron tayong special condition of the contract. The purpose is to provide contract-specific information in relation to the corresponding clauses in the general conditions of the contract. The SEC shall specify contractual requirements linked to special circumstances of the procuring entity and works procured. Some contents of the SEC are the base standards to be met by the materials and works to be performed. Yung project natin ay bridge. So, meron tayong volume 2 for highways and bridges. For the drawings, ito yung ating plano. It varies with the type and nature of contract and works involved. It represents in accordance with accepted national and international standards and practices for infrastructure contracts based on the detailed engineering which form part of design outputs. It consists of layouts, plans, profile, elevation of sections, site location, and perspective in sufficient detail and scale complemented by specs to enable the bidder or the contractor to gain clear, accurate presentation of required works. There is also a reference or guide in the presentation of project. For the bill of quantities or ang ating BOQ, the purpose is to provide sufficient information on the quantities of works to be performed under contract at hand, to enable the bidder to prepare bids efficiently and accurately. Yung BOQ po natin na may 6 columns. Columns 1 to 4 is to be filled up by the procuring entity, and columns 5 to 6 to be filled up by the bidder. The bidder shall not change the entries under pay item which is in column 1, description in column 2, unit in column 3, and quantity in column 4. Which are set by the procuring entity for each item in the POQ. The bidder shall indicate its unit bid price in words and figures in column 5 and its total bid price in column 6. Kailangan po magkatugma ang inyong words and in figures. The DPWH will check your submitted BOQ and posted BOQ. Any discrepancy in your submitted BOQ is modification of billing documents and it is patently insufficient. Lagi rin po mag-update ang posting sa PhilDeps baka meron po tayong big bulletin at may pagbabago sa previous posting. For the forms, lahat ng ating forms ay standard and updated at lahat ng ating requirements sa billing documents na ito ay nakapost sa PhilDeps and DPWH website na pwede niyo po i-download for free. That's all, Mr. Vice Chairman, for the requirements of bidding documents.
Thank you very much, Engineer Maripay Tayo. Let's proceed to the next agenda. The documents to be submitted by the bidders should be discussed by Ma'am Bernie Payayo.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman. Good morning, everyone. So here are the documents to be submitted by the participating bidders for this contract 24 EF0071. For technical component or technical envelope, we have here the Class A documents and Class B documents. For Class A documents, meron po tayong legal documents, technical documents, and the financial documents. What are the documents under legal? Number 1, valid Philippines registration certificate, platinum membership complete in 3 pages. Number 2, registration certificate from Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, Department of Trade and Industry, DTI, for sole proprietorship, or Cooperative Development Authority, CDA, for cooperatives or its equivalent document. Number 3, mayor's or business permit issued by the city or municipality where the principal place of business of the prospective bidder is located, or the equivalent document for exclusive economic zones or areas. And number 4, tax clearance per executive order number 398, series of 2005, as finally reviewed and approved by the Bureau of Internal Revenue. For technical documents, number 1, statement of the prospective bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. Number 2, statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract, SLCC, similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided under the rules. Number 3, Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board license or special pickup license in case of joint ventures, and registration for the type and cost of the contract to be bid. Number 4, original copy of bid security, if in the form of a survey of a surety bond. Submit also a certification issued by the Insurance Commission, or original copy of notarized bid securing declaration. Number 5, project requirements, which shall include the following: organizational chart for the contract to be bid, list of contractors' key personnel such as project manager, project engineers, materials engineers, and foremen, to be assigned to the contract to be bid with their complete qualification and experience data. List of contractors' major equipment units which are owned, leased, and or under purchase agreements, supported by proof of ownership or certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor or vendor for the duration of the project as the case may be. And also list of materials testing equipment, apparatus, or certification from technical working group as proof po na inyong mga equipment, materials equipment, and apparatus ay na-inspect na po ng technical working group. And number 6, original duly signed omnibus loan statement, and if applicable, original notarized secretary certificate in case of the corporation, partnership, or cooperative, or original special power of attorney of all members of the joint venture giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the omnibus sum statement and do acts to represent the bidder. For financial documents, ito po ang dapat nyo isubmit. The prospective bidders' audited financial statements showing among others the prospective bidders' total and current assets and liabilities stamped received by the BIR or its duly accredited and authorized institutions for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the date of bid submission. And number 2, the prospective bidders' computation of net financial contracting capacity, NFCC. For Class B documents, ito po naman ay if applicable lang, duly signed joint venture agreement in accordance with the Republic Act number 4566 and its IRR in case the joint venture is already in existence, or duly notarized statements from all the potential joint venture partners stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the joint venture agreement in the instance that the bid is successful. For financial envelope, ito naman po ang dapat mo i-submit. Number 1, original duly signed and accomplished financial bid form. Number 2, original duly signed bid prices in the bill of quantity. And number 3, duly accomplished detailed estimates form, including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rental used in coming up with the bid. And number 4, cash flow by quarter. So, take note lang po sa mga interested bidders. Dapat ang inyong pong documents to be submitted must be filled out completely in clear copies, readable, paginated, and duly signed by the bidder. Ang bond paper po na dapat gamitin ay A4 bond paper. So, any missing, incomplete, or patently insufficient document in the above-mentioned checklist is a ground for outright rejection of the bid. So, that's all, Mr. Vice Chairman.
Thank you very much, Marlene Ayayo. The next agenda will be discussed by Engineer Julius Cacacha.
Good morning, Vice, and good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
These are the criteria and procedures for examination and evaluation of bid proposals. First is the eligibility check. Second is the preliminary examination of bids. Third is the detailed evaluation of bids. And last is the post-qualification and the award. First is the eligibility check. This is a simultaneous processing of electronic eligibility and manual checking of submitted legal, technical, and financial documents. The manual checking of eligibility is a non-discretionary pass or fail or presence in absence of required documents. Any missing or expired documents means ineligible. The bids in the award committee will check